there were, okay, I actually have a question about the pandemic, and so this is rolling perfectly into that. You talk about the chaos of the pandemic, which to you was just like, hey guys, I've kind of been in this, like I've been
Right.
living sort of with this mindset.
Yeah.
Like, you had, you've had to. In fact, years ago, I remember asking you, and I've kind of come to understand this answer more as I've gotten older. I said, like, Darren, like, how'd you do it? Like, you've always worked for yourself. How? Like, what did you do? What was the thing? When was the moment? And you just looked at me and said, Evan, you just don't do it any other way. And when I first heard that, I was like, what the heck is he? What's he talking about? Like, Darren, give me an answer. Explain A, B, C, and D. But as I've gotten older, I've come to understand that more, and it makes sense. And as I was wondering about COVID, was there ever a point in it where you were scared, where you were like, oh, like, okay, wait a minute, I'll fly, I'll do all these things, I don't have a problem doing it, but then it comes down to, wait a minute, what if you're like really not able to, or like, I'm saying, you don't want to get arrested, you don't want to get like I'm just saying, were there ever any of those moments for you?
Well, I don't think people believe me when I say this. I was scared. I was scared through the whole pandemic. Like, I was scared. Not like, I mean, there was one flight coming back once again, no one on the flight. And I was just pushing through because they didn't shut down flights. I mean, I could book a flight, I could book a hotel, I could get in a car, I could rent a car. Like, none of that stopped. That's an interesting separate maybe category, but none of that stopped. Right. So I was like, well, if I can still get on Alaska or Delta, but it was like my third or fourth trip and like no one on the plane, thinking, what if everybody is dying? I was like, well, like there was like, what if it really wasn't a play anymore, like a skit? Like, what if like everyone's, and I remember having one moment, like, because if everybody was pranking you and you knew it was a prank, but at some point you were like, hey guys, come out now, and then no one comes out, and like a week goes by, and a month, like you start to think, maybe, like, and I started kind of thinking that way. But as much as I come across the way I do, I hate confrontation, I hate fighting, scares the heck out of me. I would sit in the car, my wife would go in the grocery store without a mask. I'd sit in going, I was too scared to go in because I felt like they wouldn't pick on her, but they'd probably pick on me, and then I'd have to get into a fight, and then I'm just scared. To this day, like when I film outside, I'm like, I know I don't have a permit. I'm breaking some rule or some law, and I'm nervous the whole time, and they're going to shut me down, and I hate it. That's why the best place for me is on a set, a sound stage, where I feel like I'm legally allowed to be here. And so it's still the best feeling to me. I do so much, it's rare, but anytime I'm outside filming or doing something, I'm just scared. I hate feeling like I'm breaking the rules. So it's not that I'm just a contrarian, like I don't like breaking rules. I see real rules. I think people have the right to say, wear a mask to come in here. I don't have to do it. I thought we libertarians believed you could say blacks aren't welcomed here. And then they have every right to say that and then bear the consequences of a community saying, well, I'm not going in there, you racist scumbag. You put a sign there saying blacks aren't welcome. I believe you have the right to do that, but I'm not going to, and I hope your business fails, right? So I believe that everybody had the right to say no shoes, no shirt, no service, no mask, you're not allowed to come in here. I believed personally people had that right. I believed that I had the right to like go in without a mask and maybe push it until they kicked me out. It happened. I'd go into Costco, really nice manager. I get it, dude, but I need to ask you to leave. And I would leave, right? Like, so I'm a libertarian in that way. I believe people have the right to do stupid things. Because if you don't allow people the right to be stupid, it's not that far until you won't have the right to do something righteous. So I'm all for stupid, but I was very nervous throughout the pandemic. I felt uneasy. But the areas that I think you're touching on is more, I'm more a true contrarian when it comes to the sort of confines of how to do something, not just no trespassing. I'm going to go in there. I don't like that. But what I like is people saying stuff like, well, he's self-published. He's a self-published author. That doesn't count. Those are the things like I start salivating. Oh, really? Oh, what? Well, why is that? Right? Like, and oh no, that's just Amazon. Anyone can print a book on Amazon. Doesn't count. Why doesn't that count? And if you stop at that moment and have that philosophical conversation of what it takes to be approved, that's where I live right there. That's what I love. Says who?
Well, I think what's so funny about you saying that also is that you look at your work, and to me, it looks just as good, as pro, as polished as anybody out there. But you have, like you're saying, the gatekeepers. And then it's just, but see, what a lot of those people don't understand is that your stuff is also available in the exact same places as all these big things. It just doesn't have the Warner Brothers label on it, or it doesn't have, and that's the thing is, it could have, if you would have waited and tried to play the game and maybe but and that's what's so crazy to me about what you just said. Oh, he's a self-published author. So then should what you've done not exist?
Right.
Because it hasn't been bestowed.
Right. It hasn't been vetted. It hasn't been vetted and approved by Simon and Schuster.
Right.
Penguin, Random House, right? Like it hasn't been vetted.
But now all those things are blowing up. I'm saying you talk about it all the time, and you're seeing it. People are being laid off. People are being like, I mean, look at cable TV. Like I'm just saying, it's just crazy. And so
and so in that, like, I'm always looking for. Well, I'm always asking, says who. I ask it from a religious philosophical standpoint, right? And I ask it from, like, a paradigm standpoint. Like, well, I'm just curious, says who, right? And if someone says, well, Elon Musk is who says it because he owns X, and then he says X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's the answer. I'm asking a presuppositional philosophical question. I'm asking who's in charge. I just want to know who's in charge, right? And when I look at being self-published, I remember people thinking that was, well, you can't just do that. But me and you were influenced. The sort of biggest defining influential time was people who started their own record companies.
Yep.
Says who? Well, Jordan.
Right.
Says who?
Hartsfield
says who? It's his record label. Right? Well, says who, you can play that concert. It's just a VFW hall. You just rented it. Like,
the thing is, but you've been getting that since you started directing. Remember going downstairs? And I think you even told me, like, you and your dad kind of had a moment of, he's like, wait, you're going to direct? Like,
right.
what?
Yeah.